Yeah, greetings, love and light. Give thanks to life, give thanks to the source, you know. Yeah, man, we're doing like a deep dive reasoning about the whole Israel-Palestine war and even why it's starting at the month of October, Halloween month. And as well, me I talk about the experiment we're starting for doing in October and the whole thing and why everything connect. And, you know, we could just see a war go on as we continue.
That this month is a very chaotic, high energy month. We have two eclipses, one on the 14th, the second one coming in on the 28th, which is going to bring in even more energy. Full moon lunar eclipse is going to be really strong as well, and it's in the sign of Taurus. So wherever Taurus is in your birth chart, it's going to light up that area. But this is very important. So we have a solar eclipse in Libra, and we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, which means conclusions or endings or realizations on some level.
Astrology is important, family, so don't take it simple, you know. Remember, my channel the name Jamaican Talk Astrology
For the
first.
7th.
All right, make we
Very
continue.
important. Okay, and keep that in mind, and I will go back to this later on in the video of how this happened on October the 7th, the so-called surprise attack on Israel. And I say that because here, and it was created on May 14th, which is Taurus, on 1948 at 4 p.m. in Tel Aviv, Israel. Now, this is very important. Whoever chose this time and this date obviously knows astrology, because if you look here, we have the sun is in the 8th house of power and transformation and money, and these three planets, including the moon, which is the moon, Pluto, and Saturn, all in Leo at the highest point in the chart. We also have Mars in Leo. So whoever chose this date to actually create the country of Israel, a Declaration of Independence of Israel, knew exactly what they were doing. They also used Jupiter in Sagittarius in the 3rd house of communication, and with a Libra rising. Very important stuff. If you're an astrologer, you know astrology, you look at this and you go, oh boy, what a chart for creating a nation, or this is the state of Israel was created under the Taurus sign. We have a lunar eclipse coming in Taurus. As a matter of fact, we've had a couple of eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio, the opposite sign. So Israel has been going through a lot of changes. If you've been following the real news, you know that there's been a lot of conflict with the people themselves in Israel. Here is the first eclipse on the 14th that just occurred, and look at where it lit up, 21 degrees, in the 12th house of hidden secrets and hidden places. And it's very close to the ascendant at 23 degrees. So what this is suggesting to me is, this is shining a giant light on a lot of stuff that's been going on behind the scenes with Israel. And this is the people in power, the people behind the scenes, a lot of the sneakiness that's been going on there, and there's a lot of it. And so I'm seeing, and of course, we also have the aspects. We have the square to Pluto, which is the homeland and destruction and, and power and death as Pluto makes its way through the 4th house. We have an inconjunct to Neptune, uncertain about the future or where it's going. And then we have another inconjunct to Uranus, which is on the sun of Israel. So I'm going to make a prediction right now. In about a year or so, the country of Israel will absolutely change in some form or some form of government. Or, I'm not going to say it's going to dissolve, but there's going to be a lot of changes in Israel. So here we have the second eclipse on the 28th, and this one is lighting up the 7th house. And this has to do with partnerships and relationships of all kinds. Now, as you can see here, obviously, these planets will be in Scorpio. Scorpio, energy versus the moon and Jupiter. This is very volatile energy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. Mars is about to square Pluto. It actually is squaring Pluto. It's squaring Saturn. There's a lot of conflict here. There's a lot of friction here that's coming into the mix as we get closer to this full moon lunar eclipse. So see with the astrology coming in the next 6 months, again, it's very volatile energy beginning this month and going all the way into March and April. And again, it begins in January as well. where Pluto enters Aquarius. Uranus and Jupiter both come out of retrograde. As you can see here, they're both in retrograde. So we're looking at a very volatile, at least the next 6 months with this conflict. But there's a reason for all of this happening right now in the month of October. Have you folks noticed that a lot of stuff occurs in October, whether it's the financial markets or devastation or wars? A lot of stuff occurs in October. Because if you understand the cycles, and these people that run the world, or, as I like to call them, the psychopaths that run the world, know and understand the cycles. And they love to do things at this time of the year because it's like a harvest season to them when they do it in the fall. You understand? Because not only are the planetary alignments changing, but we're also going into the sign of death and rebirth, which is Scorpio. Here's the Scorpio energy. The symbol where the sun is dying, and we lose more light, and this is a great time for these dark ones to take advantage of killing and destroying and raising the crazy energy, which is a low vibration, to keep people distracted and keep them in fear and keep them in anger, to continue to separate them. Since this whole conflict has begun, the news media just is licking their chops and loving every minute of all these conflicts that are arising in Europe and other places, and even in New York here. And, they're marching in the streets and people are fighting. All they're doing, whoever these psychopaths are, and I will get into it in this video to give you an idea of who some of these people are, they love this stuff because they feed off of the negative energy. And they love to keep humanity separated and fighting each other so they don't pay attention to what they're really doing. So anyway, let me go a little deeper here. Israel and the deep state. Now, folks, this is where it gets a little tricky for many of you on the right. If you understand that Israel, not the people of Israel, not the decent, hardworking people that live there and, want Israel to be the homeland and all that fun stuff. It's really the leadership of Israel that's part of the deep state. They are a wing of the deep state, and I will show you what I'm talking about in a second here. So please do your own research and, get into it and understand that places like London and Israel and Washington, D.C. and the Vatican, these are all, places that they're all working in unison. And again, I'm talking about the leadership of Israel. I'm not talking about the people of Israel. So it all started with this, and I don't know if you folks are up to date, and I know many of you that follow me are really good researchers, and you've gone down the rabbit hole like I have, and I discovered this years ago, and this has to do with the formation of the land of Israel, and this was because of the Balfour Declaration. And this was on November 2nd, and you could read this, you could take a screenshot of this, where Lord Rothschild. Now, where have we heard that name before? If you understand who the deep state really is, it's this family right here. Okay? And so you could read this letter for yourself, take a screenshot, stop the video, read it for yourself. And especially this part here. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Now, this is very interesting. I want you to keep that word in mind, Zionism, okay? Because this is really what's going on in that part of the world. And what I've discovered through my research and listening to people and reading several books on all of this, that's led me to this conclusion that we really have a big divide going on in Israel. So there's how the state of Israel was created. Here's our good old buddy 107, if you guys follow him, and I take everything he says with a grain of salt, but he's saying basically the same thing in 1970, Lord Rothschild, worked with an agreement with Lord Balfour. It's the same thing. Now, this is really important, and I'm not going to talk about that here on YouTube, obviously, where notice the Jews. The Jewish people believe that they are the chosen ones. Okay, are they God's chosen people? Now, what I'm about to show you is deep research that I've done over the years, and many others, by the way. And this is where we go into the conspiracy research. Now, this is very important. A lot of the rabbis and the people that have been studying the Torah and the ancient Hebrew scriptures know all of this, and they do believe that they are God's chosen people. Now I will explain why they believe that. Okay, so here we have the Middle East. Thousands of years ago there were 12 tribes, and these are the names of all the tribes in that region of Judea. Here it is. Yeah, you can see it right here, Judea. You see all of the different tribes, and they were all nomadic tribes that were in that region, but they all kind of settled over here, okay? And because they do believe that this land has some significance to their history, okay? And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in a second. Here's another version of it. You could see, you could take a snapshot of this, and you could see how it was laid out at one point. And so they all settled over here, and they thought that this was a very special place. Okay, so their story goes like this. There was a race of beings that came down and basically occupied the lands of Babylon, Mesopotamia, Sumeria, and this was all like Iran, Iraq, and all these regions that I kind of highlighted there, but mostly Iran and Iraq. But they were spread out. So the story goes that there were this race of beings that came here, and they came here, and they were huge. Notice this is a full-grown lion in this man's hand, a full-grown lion, and they had a lot of depiction of lions, and and this is all in museums from the Sumerians and the Babylonians and the Mesopotamians. Okay, this is ancient art that is still available today. Here's another statue, again, of a full-grown lion. That's not a kitty cat. That's a full-grown lion. So these people were huge. And even in the ancient Bible, they talk about the Nephilim. But these are what we call the Anunnaki. This is what the writings and the places that I've gotten the information. And this is well known in the research community, conspiracy community. But these were called the Anunnaki. They came here. And the word actually means from the heavens, or from the heavens they came, or something along those lines. And here is another depiction of an Anunnaki, full-grown man with a full-grown ram or deer, full-grown, and he's holding it in his arms. So it's giving you an idea of how big these people really were. So the story is that they came down in that region of Mesopotamia, Babylonian, Sumerian, and what they had done was they somehow altered the form of man in that region. In other words, they began to DNA tinker with their blood. And we know this for a fact because we know in the chromosomes and the DNA structure of man today that I believe it's chromosome number 2 or 3 has been fused together, something that does not happen in nature. So one of the DNA strands has been capped off in number 2, I believe. So these beings came here and altered man, because a lot of the ancient texts that I've looked over suggests that all of the writings, the Hebrew books, the Bible, all of these things are referencing beings from other planets that came here, mated with women, or altered man in some way. Gave them, in other words, gave them part of their DNA with the tribes or the people in those regions. So when the Jewish people say that they are the chosen ones, maybe they are in that regard, and they believe that because they know the real history of humanity. And so this is the story. Now, where does the story come from? Did the Anunnaki create the human race? No, they did not create the human race. They altered it. I give you that. That's for sure. They definitely had a hand in it because all these ancient texts are referencing DNA manipulation. And maybe there were other races that did it too, but we know the Anunnaki because here are the cuneiform Sumerian tablets that were found and decoded. Okay, these are, I think they date back to 3200 BCE or 3300 BCE. And they tell a story of beings from other places that came here and genetically altered man.
So as we go into the history about the Anunnaki story, seeing the Anunnaki did upgrade the Homo erectus and create the black race first. Then when Cain and Abel's story did go on now, Cain now did get genetically modify and become the Indian, as I'm telling you about the race over there in the Americas, the Omlex, the whole transformation. I have all these videos. Saying, now, after the flood again, them they take Shem and Japhet, royal bloodline, and give we so we have our black race continuous. Them take Shem and Japhet now and mix Shem and Japhet now with the Indian them now where they survive from the flood in the Americas, and them get now the Assyrian race and all the Akkadians and them people now. Seeing? Then now them go further and do more genetical modification, as what them say with the Jacob story, and create now the white race now from the albino of the Indian. So now them come and talk about them a chosen people, because they were created by God.
Are the Jews the God's chosen people? I would say yes, in a sense that they were chosen by some beings that came here and genetically altered them. So many, like I said, many of the rabbis and the people that have read the ancient texts and they know the true history, know that they were genetically altered in some way. So, you make of this what you will, but, please do your own research. But let's look deeper at this word meaning and this wordplay. And I've done a whole presentation on this years ago about this name, Israel. Okay, Jordan Maxwell, loved Jordan Maxwell, great man, and he talked to a lot of the rabbis. And so basically he came to the same or similar conclusion, Israel. And you could probably find some of this stuff on YouTube or in his lectures. In his view, Judaism was formed by the migration progress where the Phoenicians, Canaanites, also known as the Hebrews, with the embedded religion of the Isis cult and the Amun-Ra religion. And this is what Christians don't understand. Every time they say amen, they're giving homage to Ra, the god, the sun god. You see, Amun-Ra religion. Moved north and encountered the Palestine god El, whom Maxwell defined as the planet of Saturn. So here you have how the word Israel came into being. You see, you have Isis, Ra, and El, which means God. The word Israel is another representation of past themes. Isis was the Egyptian moon goddess. Ra was the sun god of Egypt. Saturn was the god of the Elohim, which is plural for gods. Isis is short for Isis is Ra and Elohim, El, Israel. So there seems to be a group of people that are trying to invoke the power of all these gods. You see what I'm talking about, friends? And I came to this conclusion years ago when I was studying this. I said, wow, these people. So, do the Jewish people believe they are gods? Yes, I think they do believe that. Do they believe that the gods will return? Now, that is an interesting question because many of them do. Remember, they believe in a Messiah coming back. And so they do believe that these gods do come back around. When that is, I don't know, but they do believe this. So it's like they're waiting for the gods to return, and of course they're reading the Torah and all the ancient scriptures to get clues and to understand their true history. And they've all united together, like many people in religions do. They unite to give themselves, a sense of importance and a unity, and all being on the same page. So here we have sort of the foundation of this region of the earth and why it's so important. Now let's fast forward to this region of the world, because this is what's really causing a lot of the conflict in the world right here. This group of people, and I'm going to choose my words very carefully here, friends, because the AI is listening to everything. So this place, it's a very interesting story, and I'm going to give you some links and some slides that I want you to take screenshots of, and you could read it for yourself, because this area and this Khazarian Empire, okay, was a place where most of the leaders and people there converted to Judaism because they were being pressured on either side from Christianity and the Muslim faith. And there's a reason for that. All right, so I'm going to give you a little history lesson on this too, and you could research this. This is in the Jewish Eastern Europe. Khazaria, the Khazarian Empire, circa 650 to about 965. One of the largest states of the medieval Eurasia, dominated a region from this area, okay, a land approaching the Ural River from the middle Volga region of the north. Important segments of this population converted to Judaism in the mid to late 8th century. Khazarian rule of a Turkish tribe stemmed from the Turk. So these people were Turkish. They were Turkish. They had different lineages. They were kind of gypsy or nomadic in a sense in that region. Okay, and again, please dig deeper into, and they were also Asian, or like I said, they're different parts, Mongolian. They were a real interesting mixture in that region. Let's just put it that way. Okay, but please do some research on this. But I want you to take a screenshot of this. Stop the video. Take a screenshot of this. There's 2 slides that you must read, because this explains why there's so much chaos in that region by these people who a lot of...
It has said many people aren't aware of how significant the Trump Putin
so
meeting
read what this
was.
thing here said.
If you don't
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
a little history, you won't get it. It is very important for all to know this. A few thousand years ago, there was a tribe of people living on border of modern day Russia. They were murderers, rapists, thieves, con artists. They worship Satan. They were called Khazarians. There were constant battle between Russia and these people because they attacked Russia constantly. It became unsafe for anyone to travel, so Russia finally gave them an ultimatum: stop with the attacks or we will totally destroy you. Also, Russia told them no more satanic worship. So they choose to be Jewish. They are the modern day Khazarian Jews, which are not real Jews. They continue to worship Satan in private. Since that time, the Khazarians have hated Russia, their number one enemy. Now, the Khazarian Mafia, as they are known today, are still alive and well. They inbreed to keep their bloodline strong. They are the Rothschilds of England. Their bloodline runs through the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, Ford, the Carnegie families, whether by blood or marriage. They are all related. These are the globalists that we speak of daily. They have taken over every country on the planet through their banking system. Here in America, it is the Federal Reserve. They own the Bank of England. They are the puppet masters of the world. Putin finally kicked them out of Russia several years ago. Remember, the Khazarians hate Russia. They were behind the Bolshevik Revolution, where millions of Russians were murdered. The government structure communism was created by the Khazarians. That is their vehicle to be able to totally control the population of the world. That is what World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam War are all about. Fighting. The Khazarian takeover through communism. The Khazarians have started and funded every single war on this planet. They have made trillions of dollars of wars. They fund both sides in every war. Our Revolutionary War was fighting for freedom from the Bank of England, the Khazarians. The War of 1812 and the Civil War, the Khazarians trying to take over America. Russia always being ally. We would not have won these wars without Russia by our side. Ally, okay. So, we just read a part of the them. I'm going to read the next clip here again. The Khazarians beat Russia and implemented communism. Fast forward. Putin finally kicked them out. They hate Putin. Putin has been fighting them all alone until Trump was elected. If Hillary had won, Putin stated, we will have World War III. You see it, family? This is the Khazarians' plan. They were going to use North Korea as the flashpoint of World War III and blame Russia to start war with America. Trump checkmated them by reaching out to Kim in North Korea The Khazarians have not totally taken over America yet. Soros is their frontman. They hide in the shadows through Soros creating all these social justice warrior groups and protesters. They are trying to start another civil war in America, just like in 1860. This is how they plan to destroy America forever. I'm telling you about this borderline thing or them let loose, you know? Yeah, man. This is our next article again about the Khazarian Mafia. A brother named David Luke Alpe write that piece. I must say the history of the Khazarian, specifically the Khazarian Mafia, the world's largest organized crime syndicate that the Khazarian oligarchy morphed into by their development of Babylonian money, magic, right? Has been nearly completed. Completely, they must say these people have been completely excised from history books. So, them not therefore know about them. The present day Khazarian Mafia knows this, and it cannot operate or exist without abject secrecy, and therefore spent a lot of money having its history excised from the history books in order to prevent citizens of the world from learning about its evil beyond imagination that empowers this world's largest organized crime cabal. The KM, Khazarian Mafia, are those people that we are calling the Ukrainian Nazis. These are the people that the Russians are now fighting. The Russians know this fight to be just a continuation of a war begun in 759 AD when the Khazars attempted to take over the Russian people, which it was a smaller tribe at the time. One of the many things that Russia objected to was the Khazars liking to drink human blood, specifically Russian blood. The Khazarian Mafia was started in the 700 AD as a kingdom located where Ukraine is now. Ruled them was by force to choose a religion other than the form of Elohim worship. You see that they practice. So they must say them force them to choose one different religion apart from what them did originally did that practice them Elohim thing. Right? The king chose Judaism for the kingdom as his best option. Thus the Khazarian Mafia was born and their religion buried itself. So you have to see, family, oh, these same Khazarians, them are the same Illuminati Freemason. Right now, them name, like we just call it so in a sense, because that are the similar thing. The same objectives them have, and them a work for the same boss, So as this one die out, don't feel say it a come like how you say Knights Templar, them change them name, I saw them change them name, go along the way, family. So it deep, But just I try for sure them said this what we see and go on, not really just simple as how we see it. You see me as a family. And me like when I buck up on these videos like these now, I have to try share to the family for them overstand say. I know me alone I think them way, yeah. And with my little one book, I go on good, I not gonna lie. Because you talk about them man away, spend years upon years I study them things as I hear them talk. So, as we continue.
This is called The 13th Tribe by Arthur Kessler. A very interesting account, and he comes to the same conclusion about that area or that region, about the Khazarian Empire. He suggests that those people, and he gives you details about how they went through their struggles and how they, decided to convert to Judaism. And here's another book that I also read, again, years ago. And this is by an Israeli professor. Okay, so by the way, both of these gentlemen are Jewish. So this has nothing to do with, the Jewish people. They are basically showing you that there's a group of people that claim to be Jews, which are really not, but they adopted Judaism. So here we have Shlomo Sand, the invention of the Jewish people, and he basically suggests that a lot of the people today don't actually have the bloodline connection to those, the Middle East. That many of them don't. They just converted to Judaism, like many Christians become Christians or Muslims become Muslims. And so this was a very interesting book too. But these two books were very much eye-opening. Okay, so let's fast forward to today. Now we're going to get into some of the conspiracy stuff, because this is how it all ties in to what's going on in the Middle East today. They fast forward, these people here,
Khazarians.
Basically hide behind bankers and progressive Democrats and so on. But these are two words that really
Zionism.
This group of people right here. These people right here. This group, this word here, and this word here.
Satanism.
All right. Again, this is not the Jewish people, the real Jewish people, the fine Jewish people of Israel. This has nothing to do with them. This has to do with a
Him no want call certain words, that's why I hear me I call them out, because him no want him thing get flagged, But my thing that's so large like for them thing, I'm one day them overstand.
group of people that is hiding behind Judaism. So who's saying this? Here's a rabbi. This is Rabbi Weiss. I've heard many of his videos. He's a very smart man, and he's suggesting the same thing. He's saying that this should not exist because there's so much bloodshed since the creation of this.
Yeah, the Zionist.
I left a link
Jews.
down below. You can listen to him in his own words. He speaks perfect English, and he's explaining why it should not be. And so here's another one. Another rabbi talks about the being against the Jewish people. I know these guys are orthodox and they're extreme and all that other stuff, but they know the history. They live it every single day. And by the way, many of them have said, and I believe Rabbi Watt.
So what them I say now, just like I hear some videos I go around for troop on the internet where some man attack. Them I try to show we say, these Jews are now, them look at Israelites here. Seeing? And you see the whole connection, the Rothschild thing. Them just take over this thing, but them are Zionist Jews. Them different from the real Jews, but them use that Jew topic there because the Jews were said to be God's chosen people, and them want to fit themselves in that category there. You see me I do it, family? Why am I tell you them terrible? As we continue.
Has said before Israel was created, they used to have peace in that region, Palestine. He said that, and I quote, he says, our children used to play with each other. The Palestinians, the Jews, the Christians, they all got along. They used to watch each other's kids. They used to live in peace. They used to watch each other's back. But in 1948, this is what he says in his own words. I don't know, I remember if it was this video or another. He says when they started to create the land is when all the problems began. And again, take everything with a grain of salt. This is coming from his mouth, not mine. So, really interesting stuff that you're never going to hear on mainstream media. But anyway, it's...
No, you see what I try to say, family? At one time, before this whole 1948 deal was signed up by the same Rothschild and UN, and them wicked friends, the people, they live in a perfect harmony, But everything, you can say there's a psychology we're working on everything, and they make the people them dead, settle amongst them one another first, with a plan in mind, Then now, them implement now and say, okay, over here so now for the Israelites. Knowing now say, them a come with the backing of the Rothschild, so them a come with money, We make a thing when them enter in a war, the same region at time, them win over so much places. Oh, them just they did the normal and just pop up so powerful. So you have to see the levels, family. So them now take over this thing, now take over the people, them now, and as years and time go by, them are the same Rothschild and them responsible for education thing, So you see how the brainwash education come. That's why I say them a set a youth now where we are both Israeli and Palestine. Them not fully understand the history. Them just a fight based off Them wicked set of leaders, there's some things are good and bad there everywhere in our world, family. Them are do what them are do based off of these wicked people, And I follow for them orders, Because them says I look at one general and look at sergeant and so run one army of people, Innocent youth them, Be a teenager, Even when them I watch a video about the youth them. And them I show some video. And some little young youth and some little young girls. With the pan video game and feel say, yeah, eat this. We grew up with that mentality there. And feel say what them I do. A God's will and way. We have to overstand from the cemetery, say total destruction of this planet here. And everything white clean. But when we love, the truth are revealed. Make we continue. So as when I say now, the Virgin and two and read out certain things, but him put up the screenshot, so I'm going to read it off for the eye them saying. He might show you one article on Virgin named Benjamin Fulford Wright, saying October the 7th, 2023. The same time when the thing go on, him just come up with this. Emergency news alert. The people of Gaza are about to be sacrificed to Satan unless the world acts. Both Mossad and MI6 sources confirmed the attack on Israel by Hamas was orchestrated by Benjamin Netanyahu in order to create an excuse for the mass slaughter of the Palestinian people. This is meant to be a sacrifice to Satan intended to start a nuclear holocaust. The Israeli military and the Israeli people need to address him and his satanic gangster followers. They are the ancient enemies of the real Jewish people, and we need to finish them off once and for all. Now you see it, family? You see the levels, family. Me tell the them say from this thing up me in a family. I just told me no love fussy like that and I go and like say, hey, me never they put out the video same time, but me say the same time when me see this thing happen, me come to the conclusion say based upon the history and when me kind of have an idea about Israel and them security, me I say that couldn't happen. And you can see in a reality say it's the truth. Them I work with CIA, So the CIA feed information. This is all CIA working, and don't say when they say CIA, you gotta look for say him look American, The agent I look like them, And what him do, him give the Palestinian, the Hamas military, this idea say, look, one loophole I got there, and the loophole can create by this way or that way, because we don't know how this loophole even create. Or we can do something for sabotage this and that and get for come in. But what the people them still say, oh, them come in there and they in there for over 7 hours. So you see, when we just read out Connect family, the man will fully allow the Hamas man them for come in and attack. For give him a reason for you go on like, oh, you see him go on. Now, this was written from October the 7th, And to that the 28th, And check how much Palestinian people dead so far. So you see, a reality people attack family. Me telling you, me say, what do you if you do a video, about reasons for wars, Because I see wars more than nothing than just this, Rituals, That's how even me talk say, even when I go in America right now, or them allow the borders and how much people are coming. I'm not going to hear some more reason of the same video about it. It's them allow this thing to happen because them ready to sacrifice one portion of people out to them gods. Them know them depending on family, them know the science, Say me don't know the whole science of the thing. Like how me don't know how the CERN machine work. You understand? Me not even know how a microwave work. Not for we watch a TV, we not even know it exactly how it work. So we not gonna know how everything connect in the way of we say, how them feed off our energy as how we see in some movies. How them capture souls and all of that. We might not know the full science, but they might do something family. And the evil what they do benefit for them cause. When people die in a ways like this, underneath this stress, and full of this negative energy, because remember most of these Palestinian people full of a negative energy towards your oppressor right now. We are bomb them out, So you see the whole energy with them are transmit from the people family, from the planet right now, and see it out for spread there. Them know what them a do. So you see how this man even talk about a look like the Anunnaki thing. Because the Anunnaki thing have to tie in family. Remember me do videos, I don't want to repeat, but me do videos where me talk about the Hebrews and me tell you how the whole thing with the Caucasian race, how them come into existence. The Caucasian race derived from the mulatto, the albino of the Indian. You understand? Along with genetical modification, other things happen to them. We have to understand that the part of the history there. That's why the Jacob story, people might feel it's a joke thing, but it's the same Jacob story, When them said Jacob kill the black and speckled sheep and keep on the white one. At the same thing Jacob did I do. When him put the two mulattoes them together, and if the child come fully mulatto, them keep it. If the child come like blackish or black, sacrifice to Molech. And that's so the whole of that thing they start. You see me I did family. So we have to understand the history. Now Abraham when Abraham and him tribe and followers them come into existence, We the black people did already in Africa help the Anunnaki them a mind goal, We did create over 200,000 years ago, And just what they them come into existence, The Caucasian race are just what they them come into existence, Because I'm giving you the history and telling so the Indian race is derived from the whole Cain and Abel story and how Tat Ningizida did a genetical modification with him. And that's how the Indian race started the whole Omlek story and all of that. So it is their family, it's easy. So this set of people now come. It's not like them willfully know the truth, all of them, Some of them know the truth. The main people them know the truth. And the main people them know the truth and lead the people them in a darkness and have them a fight against them each other. But the reason why them set up even all these confusion, because when you check it out, are the same God of Abraham responsible for the Christian, the Muslim, and the Islam. See? I am responsible to the whole of them group of people, But yet still I tell each of them say, and them are the true race and for them God them a praise. Alright, so our next piece of article the same God them a praise. Cult of Baal stages mass sacrifice of Jews and Palestinians in doom attempt to get money. Well, mother say a power. Alright, the same Benjamin Fulford. This is one I right on the 9th of October 2023. So I must say the massive so-called attack by Hamas against Israel last week proved the Khazarian mafia just don't get it. Like the boy who cried wolf, they have lost the ability to fool and manipulate the world with stage incidents. The mass sacrifice to Satan last week of Jews and Palestinians by would-be God King Benjamin is a glaring example. You understand? So, he might try to show you, say, everything is a set-up thing, and you see me mention the same Khazarian brethren them there. But you know if them are going to flag the thing to me talk about them. If you hear me say KM and them, So, they must say, what them do is a stage thing. And what them did not look for now for happen is that the world now would have, hey, you say me attack the thing them family. The world would have hug him up and I cry with him and I really shed much tear and I wheel much flag and I tell him to go mash up the Palestinian them which are that them want to do. Because if them got there in a ball, Remember earlier along, I mentioned how them say, the brethren I read and I say, oh, Israel was created in the Taurus energy vibration. Then I mentioned that, Then I mentioned say the man them were create Israel at the time when them chose and everything. The 1948 thing, even the time in terms of the clock on the wall. You hear the man say earlier on in the video, them know what them are do. So the same Baal, and the same bull, where you see them a praise, like me telling us at the same Taurus, at the same Yahweh, at the same Lord Enlil, You see, say everything connect to even some. Me have videos when I can go check out when me I talk about Israel and the Israel thing. And I tell black people so them nothing mix up themselves and get involved. See? So you say it a come forward family as well. This whole thing I come from the same Abraham lineage, you know. And as I'm going in the story, Abraham in the name, him and Enlil was close. And Enlil used him to create the new set of people. Then I'm going to the history say, just look upon the faces of the people and see if you know say mostly Indian descent. Then I'm tell you say the mulatto. I talk these in videos, for who taking the videos. I tell them say the Caucasian race was created by the mulatto of the Indian, what we call Dundus, like yellow man. Saying? So you see how the whole thing connect as what I'm telling you. Then but them show you say the Anunnaki story. When enough of we feel say a joke thing, them show you say the real Jews them. When you talk about the Jews them now, you know. Them have an idea. You see the Zionist Jew them know the real knowledge, you know. But what them feed on upon the rest of the normal Jews them now is this God devil philosophy. But the real Zionist Jew know about the Enki and the Enil battle for earth. So for them tribe now, what's that tribe they know family that was created as all me talk in my videos. As you see them can be this ruler type of people. Europe, all these wicked people will come out and for them lineage. They were created specifically for this. But everything I fall. All of them plans are going to falter. Because them are going like say, are just evil. Them with them evil intentions exist. You have to talk about the good Anunnaki will exist same way. We want to see good things happen to humanity. So you saw everything of a mixing family as well, me I try to show the them. Them want to set up for them race to be the ruler race of the earth, you know. As well you see them doing, you know. And everybody else should below them, you know. And then put we way, the black race, them put we way one side. But when I love what go on, as His Majesty and say, we already fight for a war already now. Them are going to fight them wars, you know. And them have to go fight them wars. And in the midst of the fight of the wars, them are going to bawl out the truth to the people. The truth are going to reveal to the people. So it's deep family, you know. We can't, you see, how most people get this education about this God and devil thing. It has shake up enough away how we think. That is why them trick not the masses easily, because them impose this religious vibration power if you have we thinking one way. You know them way there? You have black people right now where they're on side of Israel, just through a biblical perspective. Crazy family, as we continue. So the same article I read now, the Virgin right one next one, they must say, Red October, quantum computer activated. We are go. Green light. Digital war. Nothing can stop what's coming. The the Kazi Mafia going down. It's going to be biblical. The next 2 weeks are going to be very, very painful. Thursday, the 12th of October. So this is President Trump, right, this, you know. Saying, now, look where I go on yes or now, family. Quantum computer activated. The mama just come off a CERN a while ago, you know. The mama just come off a CERN, you know. Digital war. Now, you see, when we notice them are doing the war, them are use up what them have, so to speak. You know, if you notice them just a bomb and a fling, bomb and a waste them. Because them have some top technology where for run out, you know. Them do these videos already and telling you know family to say. there was a video game that was created, and when me look on the video game, me do a video about it. It named Battlefield 2042. When me take in the thing, as I me explain on my video, the artillery and thing what the man them a use is nothing advanced to not year 2042. The things that them have a use right now. Dog, we are run up and down with gun pan back, drone, high-tech weapon we can see through wall, this, that, you know? We see in the video game. So me they do a video, me say Battlefield 2042 is really Battlefield 2024. And see it up manifest the family. You understand? See it manifest there right before our eyes. Because this where we see I go and now turn back and I go stop in the family. We have to understand that, you know. As we continue. The articles are kind of interested in not reading from because it will show you what different people are saying, you know. We have more knowledge of things, even about myself, you know. Some of us are sharing. So they must say, no, this next article said the MSM is owned by the people who all hold Israeli passports. Hunter and Joe's criminality are not headlines today, so we have to say all of them things if you know them at work. I know them depend Trump, you know. Hamas and Israel are the headlines. The KM, the Kazi Mafia that created Israel, Lord Rothschild in particular and Lord Balfour, called the Balfour Declaration, are the number one child trafficking and sacred Satanism on earth. They worship the devil in the form of Baal and Molech, and they do not want their depravity revealed, and the center and evidence of all their criminality is in Israel. So you see it, family. You see how everything I connect. You see everybody are weak and attack. You see what me tell you about them wicked judgment ball people. Oh, you see this whole part child trafficking thing where you see I go on. And all these little stories that we hear and faces a joke thing. And more time they hear me talk and I say how them have them thing in them fridge. And now the whole adrenochrome thing. See it a family. Who is ball? Now the same Enlil man. The Taurus, a few month that a few celestial sign that way him rule, you know. See? See a Molech when you see baby, we want baby, you know. So you see levels family, you see as me have mentioned before, so I don't know the real science behind how them do it. But even kids especially, the newborn fresh energy there, it look like say it good to them. Because when them a drink adrenal, you know, and I eat the flesh, you know, you see the trauma where them put the yoke there through, and the soul now, the higher being there now, you know, for them God, them a serve a collect, you know. You always have to say family, and the soul essence that them a collect, and a strengthen for themselves, you know. Them I'm going to all them history, and even talk about a movie named Dark Crystal, a little puppet movie. I mean, I show you how the evil, the archons them work, family. Them work off of the souls of people. Me talk about these things and videos and me show you all the different movies where them show you and depict it in. So we have to understand the science where I go on, family. I just evil. But I just to feed them time and to them have the power and the money. Who again have the money? Who you say come? Who you say run the world with money? Now the same wicked rat style family, man. Everything I reveal, family. We have to just say what I go on and give thanks as we continue. Our next article again. These events are important and military alliance operations to open war crimes and tribunals in all countries connected to CIA, MI6 and Mossad, the Kazi Mafia, military industrial complex system, which include the CIA, the Rockefellers, BlackRock, etc. So you see me even do videos I mentioned about BlackRock family. You saw them come tying at the whole thing. You say, that's what I tell you, it's a group of them at work in a family. Then when I do a video, I try to show them BlackRock, they come up with one quantum technology where them could have able to predict. You know what I mean? Certain the market thing. And I saw them able to gain money and become popular. But we have to know, say, when you talk about quantum computer, you talk about D-wave computer, you talk about this is not the real computer as I try to show you in other videos where it's not a computer where you program and it will give results like a calculator. This answer come from a different dimension. Them even mention it. Where is this dimension? Who you think of the dimension they are speak to them? Why this entity we are speak to them, not this dimension, we are give them all these ideas, is only ideas of evil. So we don't need to know and question who are give them ideas. You understand? Sorry. Them say everything happening now needs to happen to expose the corruption in all countries. Them say everything happening now needs to happen to expose the corruption in our countries. But they will fail, and we still come close to the nuclear events warned off. Moreover, the coming plan push civil war by the Democrats, CIA, Rockefeller's regime, but everything will be exposed in the end, and the fall of U.S. military industrial complex system collapse is coming. And the elites who control the warmongering system, BlackRock, etc., is going to collapse. Seeing? They must say it is biblical and it's all connected to Epstein, Big Tech, Israel, CCP, CIA, Bush, Obama, human trafficking, World Bank, etc. You understand, family? So, we have to understand, my family. You see all of these people name just come up forward. Remember me showing you say the same Epstein, fame woman Ghislaine Maxwell, her father was an Israeli spy, I talk about them things in my videos already and show how them work together. Who you think is big tech? Big tech are them man, we are create this transhumanism thing, raw technology where them not sure we yet. And them miss out for run out now in the war. You think man I got them technology they have them put down? And them out for run out right now, family. Seeing? The whole human trafficking thing, CIA, the Bush, Obama, Clinton's name for inner it took them in the whole trafficking thing too. World banks, etc. Who control world banks? It just plain family, so me I try to show everybody say the time is now, everything that's exposed, and as well me even mention and the man even mentioned earlier in the video. You must say the time I come for we choose because it does boil down to say is good versus evil. As I show the idea are different levels of evil. Yes, you might say, then Putin no evil to kind of kill people. But then by in the Bible when you have God then send Moses how much other people to go kill off people in a fame name. So since you're not biblical, use that as a reference point. But what you're gonna use now, you're gonna say which one of these set of people I deal with human rights, I deal with morality, I deal with justice and all of that. You have to look on it now. You have to check if these Europeans will include French, Spain, German, CM Ukraine, USA, CM Israel, most of these European countries. We have to see for them whole ethics and more than morals, But them are work off, And then we have to look over now that side of people, these Arabs, these Iran people, the Russian, the Chinese people. When you uphold, you can't boy, you lift up a gay flag and walk through them place there. You can't boy in a school and teach people and picnic certain things. So it's simple, family. Who we are going to run to? Which side we are going to go on? Make we continue. Alright, this article I said now, this is the date, 10th of 11/23, just for there. Trump has met with 200 generals this week alone. Now, we have to remember say Trump control some of the warrior them same way, and everybody know the foolishness, There are two wars being waged right now in the Middle East. Number one, the war against child traffickers, and the war by Israel to create a greater Israel. One in the air, one underground. Eventually, the two will meet. But me can't tell you there's a third war we are fight. You have the higher you have the war now, we have fight where just as how me talk about today is the day. You see the Avengers Endgame, that type of superficial sci-fi type of war there, it a go on too. It a go on right now. And if CERN ever have him way, remember the man I show you say we didn't know, to the next 6 months, I just one chaotic time we're in, because this man, he's not a man that talk about Anunnaki, he's not a man that talk about Planet X, this man is an astrologer, astrologist, so this man read up charts and think, I have enough of the things where him know about, and so I learn from him. I don't know everything. I still even understand everything same way. As how you see him can read up the thing. But we have to know, so just like how you have the doctor, the nurse, the pharmacist, the teacher. And so you have people where dedicate themselves and get this knowledge. So when them come and present a thing, we can't downplay it because we is not in for them position. Or we're going to downplay for them knowledge. Even though it might talk a thing will even go against your religious belief and all of that. But that is just what it is, a belief. So everything I expose now, family, we have to just understand that and love it.
I want you to notice. Remember I said to pay attention to the date that this occurred, October 7th, Hamas attacked Israel. Now this, in 1582, October 5th, never happened because this is when the church removed 10 days after October 4th and skipped all the way over and created the Gregorian calendar. Okay, this is the 10 days of darkness. And notice, when did it happen? October 7th. Do you think that these people know what the hell they're doing? 10 days of darkness? They love to use the symbolism and the cycles to benefit themselves. And I'm not talking about the Israelis, I'm talking about the dark Khazarians and all these other ones. So this is something really interesting. So, and this is another one, that Israel knew about these attacks in advance. And this was the Representative Michael McCall talking about this. So also this one here, this woman was in the military. She served 25 years ago in the intelligence force, and there's no way, in my view, that Israel did not know what was coming. She said they have the most high-tech, sophisticated surveillance. You couldn't have a fly go over into that region without some equipment detecting it. So somebody let them in to create this havoc, So again, very suspicious. Our government already funds Israel and Iran and Hamas. Now this has all been proven. Again, mainstream media will never report this stuff.
All right, this next article, family. The White Hats are painting a picture and getting all things down on U.S. congressional records. This includes the UN, Obama, Biden funding Iran to bring in extremists to cause chaos in the U.S. Another 9/11 inside job. So, remember, even the same Israeli, them, because through God not sleep, them same man even admit, say, what happened to them on the 7th of October is for them 9/11, Now, knowing how Israel intelligence capability what them have, because them tapping all of them thing there, Seeing? And them tap them, there's something there, So, not no stranger, just like how the man said them didn't know. So the attack did go on, and them allow it. You're the woman not too long, say. If I fly, pitch on the fence, Jeep out there. So how the man them in that place for 7 hours. And not even a helicopter come. So we have to see, we have to put these things together, family and sister, watch her. And them set up the thing for cause this fear go on now. But everything a backfire. You understand? They must say the military alliance was watching and documenting everything. They have hundreds of Iranian and Al-Qaeda terrorists in Guatemala who are exposing the planned attacks on US. So you see? These are the prisoners with the map about Guantanamo Bay, Them attack, oh, this border fencing letting of people where you see. The man them allow for go on. When you saw everything at time, family. Alright. They must say They have hundreds of Iranian and Al-Qaeda terrorists in Guatemala who are exposing the planned attacks on the USA. The only way to take down the UN, CIA, the Rockefellers, Obama, Clintons was through game theory operations. That means letting them play their final cards and then expose the truth after the events and then you arrest them. So, what we see are going right now, what happened over Israel with Benjamin is a perfect example. What him do, when him people them really go find out the truth, you see, say, I'm going in trouble. Remember, say, all of these countries, remember, say, me do one video one long time, me tell them, say, oh, I think them all take it down if I no lie. But me tell you, say, Iran did have secrets. I never know. Osama them kill. And both them burn up body and dash the ashes. Through them know, say, people would have used genetics and show say not even 5 and 20 years after. They make sure make fish near him. But remember me I tell you say Iran take some money off of them, blackmail them for much billions of dollars for the truth. Because Iran the tip off Obama make them know so the boy them they bought them did run work through Iran to get to Obama to get to Osama, you know. And Iran say think we are sell out for the people through own and tip off Osama and Osama left him body double there and take away himself. So them know the truth. And I tell you say you saw Hillary Clinton name a call, you saw everything a connect. Then I tell you say there's another video me do. See him where I think I know the same video me do it and me talk say she the thing we're going down but the movie make off about 13 hours. The incident we're going down in this embassy. Seeing? And it will show you say at the summer most of the man them were dead off, you know. At the man them were dead on the mission board them go for Osama, you know. And them send the man them down the board, set special mission. Because the man they work like missionaries, you know. And done the man them. Because them by now, no care you see the 30 soldiers, you know, for arguments they were running pan Osama, so to speak, you know. You have a group, you know, where them are the special forces, them are the top man, you know. Them control everything, you know. You think what making you think, you know, say everybody I take picture beside Osama. And I say, see, you know, me them beside him face. Not even that, you see. Where you know them are blood clean, look a young boy, American soldiers love. So we have to understand the thing, family. Everything does a play out right now. That's what I tell you, say, everything have to happen. Seeing? So you see, after the great unrest in the US, near chaos and civil war, because them have work for it, you know. Military wars, military laws of war protocols can settle the chaos within a few days. The US military can be deployed in all cities in a few hours and restore order. So, they must show you, say, how them a plan the thing for happen and unfold. God not sleep, family. You understand? Remember Bob Marley sing the song and say, you know, have no fear for them atomic energy, you know. Because none of them can stop God time, you know. So we not to really worry about them. I just we forget the knowledge and use the knowledge and straighten ourselves in the right way as we continue. Now the Virgin I put up one picture and I say it has show couple hundred black man well you can see say Africans them, seeing? And them I say look closely at all the invaders found in Europe recently. So the man them I call invaders. They all have the same clothes and shoes. None of them paid for their boat trip passage to Europe. It's all financed directly by the UN via the NGOs. Now, you have to pre this thing in a family, as all we are saying. When you look on the picture and put up, you can see everybody not really the identical sweatsuit, but it'll come like I said then in for argument's sake, you have 4 to 5 different types of hoodies and sweater what them have. So you see them come prepared, kind of the hoodie thing or something where you can sleep in and cuddle up in and all of that. Protect you from rain and coldness and all type of that. Most of them in a similar. Now here the next ironic thing. Most of them sit down and you see them foot bottom. Two of them sit down. And when you look family, every one of them have on the same crepe. Every one of them have on the same crepe. Because say I can put in a picture for you to see it. So we have to see what go on, you know. Remember them say at the UN, you know. Remember, you know, if you look on these African guys and arm them, you know, and tell them say fight for food, fight for your money, and fight for citizenship, you know. Them a do it, you know. Them don't know the cause what them a fight for, you know. But them a go do it. Rastafari, me I tell you, say deep family. Jaja know.
It's released by the administration between January 21st, 20th, 21st, or 23 or remain in the U.S. So somebody is paying these people to come to the U.S. and it's suggesting that the UN is behind it. Now, I don't have this video, but I want you to read this, okay? An Uber driver says middle-aged man, male immigrant, told him that he is a soldier whose salary is paid by the UN. He was given a credit card, ID, and told to live in the U.S. and wait for further instructions. It could be BS, full I know. But when you start painting the picture, you start realizing we have all these middle-aged men coming in. Why? You know, no children, no women. Okay, daily vast numbers of military-age migrants coming from the Middle East, pouring into Western nations, infiltrating greater sleeper cells. And there you have, from all these groups here, they're all going into these regions to cause chaos. Somebody is paying for all this, friends. Of course, let's not forget all of those weapons that were left in Afghanistan. Seem to be winding up in the hands of these groups. Huh? You think those weapons were left there for a reason? Remember? And so, again, you got to connect the dots. What's going on here? Now, if you really want to understand a little bit more from David Dubine at Adapt 2030, I'll give you an idea of what's coming in the year ahead with Israel. And so here we have that partial lunar eclipse once again. So we're seeing, when we have a lot of Scorpio energy and we have a lot of Taurus energy, this has to do with values and beliefs and finances and power. It absolutely has to do with power. So because this is a lunar eclipse, it's revealing power. It's revealing things. It's no mistake I'm doing this video trying to show you, connect the dots from what I'm seeing here. And so this is a very disruptive energy that's coming into that region, into that country. So this energy will be in effect, you know, between the two eclipses for the entire year, all the way till next October. Here we see the next eclipse on March 25th of 2024. This one's again in Libra and the 6th house. Now, I'm going to say something here. I think there are going to be a lot of people that die in this country. And it's not because of war. I think it's because of disease. Because many of them went and got 3 or 4 of those injections when we had that whole scam a couple of years ago. So we may see a lot of people, you know, not making it, let's put it that way, in that country because of disease. And of course, I don't know if we'll get to hear about it because mainstream media won't report on it. So, you know, so I think because this is the 6th house and there's the Libra energy here. But I think at this point we are still seeing either some conflict because Pluto has now gone into Aquarius in the 4th house. So again, we're seeing massive...
I'm not sure that thing, family. Kind of people kind of superstitious about the astrology thing. But at the same time, we are read horoscope. You understand? So we can't take the thing and use it in a one way or just believe in it in a one way what the system tell we. Why me I say this, no matter if I show you say this bird in here have an idea about what I must say. This is how the man them predict things. This is how the same Nostradamus could have predict things. Enough other ones. So this way man is not like say is an evil practice or anything like that. It's just part of the secret society knowledge of them hide from we as a people. So I'm trying to interpret and show say, even we see her go on right now with this whole revealing of the truth to the people, he must speak of it. And he must speak of enough changes and enough things that happen because you have to understand in the family. You see, them know the cycle. That's what I tell you, say, you know. You say it even come back, oh, Trump name convention and Hillary. Or me tell you, say, anyhow, Trump never did win. Look how we are book up on articles now when we are talk about. Anyhow, Trump never did win. And they lay them thing 4 years back. Remember me tell your family. You know, your Putin say, any Hillary did win, war would have kick off same time. So if you say war go on. So we have to just understand the logics. If you say, and everything we are going to just know off like that. That's why I try to simplify the thing and show the item, you know. See, and show how it even connect to a lot of things I'm reason about same way. Everything tie in family.
Eclipse on the 8th. Now, this one's a real strong one as well. Again, having to do with the 6th house. So this is a really strong one because this is either suggesting more conflict or, influential people or powers coming together to try and resolve some issues. But I think it's going to be very testy, it's going to be very feisty, it's going to be very explosive at this time. So from now until the next 6 months, I'm seeing the astrology for these regions being very explosive, very, very unsettling. When we go into the October 2nd, 2024, here is when we begin to see the powers that shouldn't be, that are destroying that country, start to dissolve. And that's what I'm saying here, because it's happening in the 12th house. The 12th house is about compassion and understanding, but it's also a house of transformation in some way. So on October the 2nd, by that time, I think we have a major change occurring in Israel. And so we will see the new leadership, or we will see the current regime that's been controlling Israel be taken down. And this is where the changes start happening. And then, of course, on the 17th, we have the last eclipse of the year. This one happens to be in Pisces right there. So I'm seeing something new coming out of Israel. Could be a new understanding, a new peace agreement. But it is squared to Jupiter. So again, there'll be some adjustments. There will be some possibly finances involved. But there is definitely some heavy negotiating taking place around this time that I'm seeing here.
All right, so the first reading when he mentioned the one that him say the 8th. It was April the 8th, 2024. And he must say the energy I go faced in at that time there. So now I think I do a video me I tell you say on the same lunar eclipse time there. I'm going to show you how the X, how one thing would go on at 2017 and the line did go one direction, seeing? And then now the next, so the line now would represent the part, like the set of people we are going to see this lunar eclipse, seeing? And it make a line, them show the passage where it make. Now them said this one I know we're going to happen, as the Virgin mentioned, April the 8th, 2024. It's going to feed part way and going to make actually a X to be farmed. So them even as I mentioned, we said something I got happen in America. And I thought these things long time in our videos, you know. So you say it a manifest now. You say it really a come to life. Because the Virgin already are telling you, you know, what him expect. Remember say, what him a do what John Dee used to do for Queen Elizabeth in the family. And what Merlin used to do for King Arthur, you know. And what Marina Abramovic do for our elites them, you know. So not like I know something where real, but you have the good side and the evil side of it. You see me I deal with. Yeah man, so we have to just understand the whole science, you know, and try to have an idea how these guys plan out them things. We have to remember the whole God and devil story and the Satan and God story same way and put it in a perspective and know say forces behind the scene are at work, you know, and them a implement things that happen. Them a work off our timing. Me always I try to mention that. And as when me hear a Virgin talk now one video, me I listen to a video where a Virgin talk. And him not talk about no Planet X and Anunnaki, you know. But the man a talk about the solar flares them and the whole heat and the whole weather vibration where I get affected by that. Kind of show say the sun will get hotter and hotter. So he must say when the man a talk first, the man say he must go talk about the mother of all what we see are going right now upon the earth. So you know everybody have them own interpretation. He might probably interpret for say, well, based upon what soon go on in our earth and climate change and all of that, people it a kick off the war because people want, position themselves certain places and all of that. But impartially right. But it just come in like a reason when me show the eye. Me even play the clip in when me tell you say, anytime this Planet X thing a go come on, is the time when them a go choose to create war. Them have a reason about them thing there, Play the clip in when the man a read the thing. So it's just everything a come in a play right now, family. Everything where we can think of. Right now a come in a play. We have to just go and look out and don't be surprised. And as always, just prepare yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. So we can go through. And knowledge is the greatest thing. So as always, research important. Give thanks to the them time, John know, that one year long, but I saw it go. And nearly a week now, I not say nothing. Rastafari.